Doctor, please, can you tell us about you and what is written on your business card?
Thank you so much, Jiata, for having me. And let me start by congratulating you for being selected to be part of the women leadership for this particular initiative, which is a global thing. Not many people have the opportunity for being selected. I know there might be thousands of people that applied, but you selected. So again, accept my congratulations to you for achieving this feat. My name is Ogallah. I work for the Commonwealth as a National Climate Finance Advisor for the Commonwealth presently. But prior to joining the Commonwealth, my career path has been that of a person who have worked in almost the three tiers. I mean, the sectors: the private sector, the public sector, the non-governmental organization sector in the past 20 years. I started off in the early 2000s as a volunteer with an organization known as Women Trafficking and Child Labor Eradication Foundation, WATCLE, which worked in the areas of advocating for child's rights and women's rights. So I volunteer for the organizations championing the cause of human rights, social actions, and as well as issues of child trafficking. That brought me to the space of knowing what the issues are in terms of what it means to stand for the people's right, and then especially the children and those who have no voice to speak for themselves. That was in the early 2000s. Then I moved on from there again to volunteer again for an organization called the Center for Peace Advancement in Nigeria, CEPAN, which deals with issues of conflict management, conflict resolutions, disaster management, and risk. Again, within that some period, I moved to volunteer for another organization, which is a regional organization called West Africa Network for Peacebuilding, WANEP. I served as the Zonal Network Coordinator for WANEP for North Central Nigeria, coordinating the affairs of the organizations, where in my capacity as the Zonal Network Coordinator, I rose, the membership the membership list of the organization from just a mere 15 organization that I met when I was the Zonal Network Coordinator to 45 organizations within 3 years. So the membership expanded the broad base, and then we work across issues again of peace, disaster risk management, issues of conflict across the north central Nigeria, down to even the establishment. I spearheaded the establishment of the Kogi State Emergency Management Agency, as well as the Kwara State Emergency Management Agency, where we advocated and worked with the state government to put the structures together as an organization, which, among others, issues of conflict and also environmental problem in Kwara, in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, was part of the issues we touched on. The conflict also in Kogi State, there was part of it, down to Nasarawa and the conflict between Nasarawa and Benue State. Back then, all this as a volunteer and also as a zonal network of WANEP, Nigeria. From there, I moved to another organization, which is a foremost environmental organization in Nigeria then, called the Nigerian Environmental Study Action Team, NEST, based in Ibadan, where I served as their network coordinator, as call it senior program officer, communications, outreach, and networking for another 3.5 years. When I was in NEST, that was when we implemented the Building the Nigerian Response to Climate Change project, which is one of the largest ever climate change project then in Nigeria. That project gave birth to the current, what we call the national document, which we call the National Adaptation Strategy and Plan of Action for Climate Change for Nigeria, NASPA CCNN. We also have produced under that project what we call CASTRA, that is Climate Change Adaptation Technical Report for Nigeria. All these documents inform the current Nigerian Nationally Determined Contribution, the NDC of Nigeria. The project also were implemented across Nigeria, and also the policy aspect of it deals with what the current National Climate Change Bill that Nigeria had, that was recently passed by President Muhammadu Buhari, was initiated long ago, as far back as 2011, when I was also working with NEST then, when we were advocating for Nigeria to have a climate change bill. Though the president then didn't sign it into law, it was sent back again to the National Assembly. So that was when the journey began, and I was glad to be part of that process under Building Nigerian Response to Climate Change. We had also projects scattered across Nigeria, both we call the pilot project and also the research. We work with research institutions, NGOs, and other academic institutions. That project again gave birth to what we call the biophysical synthesis of Nigerian climate. So where the project produced together with the University of Cape Coast in South Africa, produced the future of Nigerian scenario, the climate scenario for Nigeria for 100 years as at then. So these are reference documents that Nigeria is still building upon today in its climate work. I rose to become the program manager in the organization, looking at the holistic approach to program development, climate change issues across Nigeria. Also implemented other projects, in charge of other projects sponsored by the Global Environmental Facility, GEF, the Africa Adaptation Project, sponsored by the Japanese government, JICA then, with the Federal Ministry of Environment, among other several climate change projects across Nigeria, where I oversee. I was part of the team that delivered on that. It was after that I moved to join the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance in Nairobi, Kenya, as their heads of program. For 4 years and 6 months, I was coordinating the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance work on the continent. Then, when I also came on board, there were 25 national chapters when I became a head of program at PACJA. Then, before I left, we had 45 countries, chapters of PACJA across the continent. And PACJA became a global force to reckon with in terms of climate change advocacy across the continent and globally. I rose to the capacity of acting Secretary General of PACJA, overseeing the overall implementation of projects, staff administration, project administration staff, and all the issues that pertain to the organization, including resource mobilization for the organization as the acting Secretary General. And that was the position I held before I moved on from the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance to join Solidaridad network. Solidaridad is a global solution-oriented civil society organization with the headquarters based in Utrecht in the Netherlands. They had 8 regional expertise centers, and they are working in 5 continents. Solidaridad has been in existence for over 50 years as well. So my role with the organization was senior climate specialist for Africa. I coordinate their climate work for the continent, as well as interfacing with the global climate work of Solidaridad. And during my time at Solidaridad with my team, we're able to also to bring Solidaridad to the global limelight in terms of climate issues. And among the achievements was Solidaridad is currently an associate member of NDC Partnership. These are institutions that work on climate, have anything to do with climate, and then they work with NDC Partnership if you are serious with climate across the globe. So I spearheaded with my team to bring on board, facilitate Solidaridad associate membership of the NDC Partnership. With my team, I also led the development of what we call it's a tool for measuring adaptation and mitigation performance of projects and programs. So we developed what we call the Climate Smart Index for Solidaridad during my team, and it was listed as one of the two for measurement of climate performance in the UNFCCC tool currently hosted on the website of the UNFCCC tool. So this is just, and then from there, from Solidaridad, I worked with them for almost 3.5 years, and then I moved to the Commonwealth, where I'm currently working with the Commonwealth. So this is how the journey has been. Again, it's good to know that I was also a part-time lecturer.
Wow.
At the
I'm just learning this for the first time.
Yes. I taught at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa in Nairobi, Kenya. I taught both undergraduate and the postgraduate students. I took them courses like NGO and development, and also poverty and exclusion, food security as a course. I also supervise students' project at the university. So part of where I venture into the private sector, because the Catholic University is a private institution, and it gives me the space opportunity to have a touch again with the private sector, and not only with the private sector, but also to impart this knowledge I've acquired, on-the-hands knowledge, to students across the globe who are students of the university, at the Catholic University. And then teaching the undergraduate and the postgraduate up to the master's level at the university over this period of time. I also serve as a board member on Climate and Sustainable Development Network of Nigeria as a founding board member, and also spearheading the establishment of the organization in Nigeria. So this is how my journey has been. But what keeps me awake at night is how do I impact life positively, my generation, and that the next generation and generations to come will also benefit from the impact of my work. And this is what keeps me awake at night in my career.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's massive, sir. I'd like to know, how did you get to where you are today, and what motivates you?
Yes. Like I said, what motivates me is service to humanity. To start as a volunteer means there is a driving force. I want to see impact. I want to see positive change. I want to see lives being touched positively. And especially in the climate space, I have come face to face with the impact of climate change. And it's not something that I read in books only. I'd like to be quick to add that I have my PhD in climate change and adaptation. And this tells you how dear the issues are to my heart. Having my master's degree in development studies. So, I come face to face with this issue. I live with it. I felt it. I live among with it. In my community, I have a streams. When I was growing up, that was flowing, and we used to go to the streams to fetch water. But as I speak to you today, the stream has dried up.
Wow.
The source of water in the community has gone. It's telling you the vivid impact of climate change. That the source of life, livelihood of people are eroding and having work. So this started me up. And when I was working for WANEP as the Zonal Network Coordinator, the issues of conflict, I came face to face with what we call the nature-based conflict, which is fueled by environmental scarcity. And so lives are being lost because of conflict that is driven naturally by environmental scarcity. And so I've moved also across different parts of Africa. I've traveled wide in over 40 countries across the globe, both in Africa, Asia, Latin America, Europe, and all over the world. And I've seen the impact of climate change. This again has motivated me to even do more in this space on how do we turn the tide. What can I do? In what way can I contribute to address the challenges of climate change? So this has been my passion and what I set out to do for us to have a better world, a better planet, not only for this generation, but to bequeath to the generation next, a planet that is livable, that they can thrive on. So this has been my motivation, and that also helped me to pursue my academic degree to the PhD level in climate change, driven by this passion for the work and to see the positive impacts being made in the life of people that I work with.
Very well, sir. What number one career advice would you give to me?
I like working with young people, and of which you're also young. Like I just shared, the career path, the way to the top is from the bottom. I started off as a volunteer, and there is a saying that there is no elevator to the top. You have to climb the staircase. So if the way to the top is the bottom, then where is the bottom? Where do you need to start? We know that in the labor market or in the development sector or even in the government space, the space are getting choked. A lot of people that want to be on board. So the space is narrowing. So for me, the way up is through starting volunteerism, be driven. First, they have to be that passion. Do you have passion to drive the change? Can you be the change you want to see? What do you want? What is that burning? What is that thing that keeps you awake at night? So these are questions that we need to ask ourselves. And for young people, what is this problem that is facing the world that I can be a part of the solution? The moment you are able to identify that problem and you also have the passion to change it, then the quest to look for space to bring about this change, starts firing up in you. And then it doesn't matter whether it is a paid job or it's a volunteerism. Wherever you find this space, then you fix yourself in to cause this change to happen. One mustn't start at the top. There is, a space at every level, especially at the lower level, where we can create change.
Yes.
Look at where you are right now, the community where you are right now. Look around, what is the need? Did it align with what is keeping me awake at night? And when you talk about, if it's especially in the climate change space, the impacts are everywhere. Like I gave you an example of my community. So it is in several communities in Africa, in Nigeria, across the globe. So wherever you are, you can see the impact of climate change. And if you want to be that change that you want to see, then you can start where you are with what you have, and right at the time where you find yourselves. There can never be a right moment to do it. Every time is right to do a right thing. So I started as a volunteer, and with the help of God, rose to where I am today in the global space. So you can start from where you are, with what you have, the knowledge which you have right now, and start creating that change that you want to see, especially in the climate space, where you also qualify, you were selected and nominated to be one of the women leaders in that space. It creates an enormous space for you to display your talent. I know you are very creative, very talented, and where you are is where you can start. And I also know you working and volunteering also for Climate and Sustainable Development Network of Nigeria, CSDevNet. That is also a bigger platform for you to demonstrate your talent, for you to be part of the solution to the current 21st century challenge which we face right now, which is climate change.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you for the career advice. Thank you for your time. Despite your busy schedule, you took out time to have this career chat with me. I'm really grateful, sir.
Thank you so much, Jiata, for having me. And I wish you the very best in your career path. I know you'll go places. Let the passion keep on the good work. And we need people like you, Jiata, across the continent and across the globe to help us bring this change, especially by creating the solution to the climate crisis and climate emergencies the globe and the world currently find themselves. I wish you the very best in your career life. Thank you so much, Jiata, for having me.